Aqua Girl Talks here today, back with a new video. Today I'm here with my junior aquarist, Jude.
Hello.
And our dogs, Zane and Fiona, will be joining us. So today we're going to be putting a fish from our 75-gallon show tank into our 230-gallon pond. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to be putting our Demican, Quentin, who has been in the pond for a year, who was recently injured. We're going to be going ahead and adding him to our 75-gallon show tank in the house so that we can keep a better eye on him. So anyway, today's gonna be really fun, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
In order to make this process as least stressful as possible for each of these fish, for the last 5 days, I have gotten them used to each other's water. The Demican has been in an 18-gallon tote while he has recovered from an injury, and I have been, over the last 5 days, siphoning in water from the 75-gallon into his hospital tote at every water change until he was fully in 18 gallons of water from the 75. While I was doing that, at the same time, I was taking water from the tote and putting it into the 75 gallons so that all of the fish could get used to the Demican's microbes and bacteria prior to him entering their tank. So by siphoning water in from the tote into the 75 gallon, that has gotten this Ranchu ready to go into the pond because that's where Quentin has been for the past year. This particular Ranchu I've been growing out since July of 2018, and he's gotten really big. He was about 2 inches when I got him, and he has certainly filled out and grown a ton in the time that we have had him. So although we have acclimated Tyler the Ranchu to pond water over the last few days, we are still just kind of slowly acclimating him just in case there's any temperature difference between the tank and the pond. I've mentioned it in videos before, but the pond has been heated all winter to between 68 and 72 degrees. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit hard for me to part with him. He has been in the 75-gallon show tank for 8 or 9 months now, and he's grown so much, and I've just so enjoyed watching him. But my end goal will be to take the other 2 red and white Ranchus from the 75-gallon show tank, and they will also join him in the pond later on this spring, because I do have some other fish that I'd like to put into the 75-gallon show tank, and these Ranchus are getting so big, so they'll really truly appreciate all the space in the pond. I was so surprised at his size next to my 6.5-inch cow Ranchu from Goldfish Kingdom. I really had no idea that my Ranchu had grown as much as he had in the time that I've had him. So he's more than doubled his length in 8 months, so that makes me feel a little bit proud. And that brings us to the end of Tyler the Ranchu's acclimation from the 75-gallon into the pond. And lastly, we will go over Quentin's acclimation into the 75-gallon from the pond. About 2 weeks ago, I found Quentin upside down and unable to swim upright in my pond. I came to the conclusion after observing him and healing him that he had injured himself spawning in the darkness of the pond itself. It's lined with a black pond liner, and there are very large rocks that my husband and I put in there to form a tunnel for the fish. So I had observed him chasing one of my female Ranchus for about 48 hours prior to when I found him upside down. So I believe that he hit himself on one of the rocks or against one of the edges of the pond and injured his swim bladder and was unable to swim upright.
He's so happy.
As I added Quentin to the 75-gallon where I have a female Ranchu and a female ping pong pearl scale, I noticed him immediately going into that spawning behavior that I witnessed in the pond. before. So I have had, like I said, Quentin for a year. I think he is really, really coming into maturity, and we are headed into spring right now. So I will be keeping an eye on this behavior, and if it becomes problematic, I will go ahead and remove him and, figure out the arrangements that would be best for him and my other fish. I have a breeding project that I would like to start either this summer or next summer between Quentin and my ping pong pearl scale Piper. I would like to try to make telepongs. So I do plan on removing each of them and hand spawning them at some point. If things work out, it would be my first time breeding goldfish, but I don't want him in there just mindlessly chasing my other fish. So we'll just have to see. He might settle out. I do have a heater in there right now, keeping things as stable, 72 to 74. So I'm going to go ahead and be removing that, and the temperature should drop a little bit more, and maybe that behavior will subside a little bit. So I have a few tricks up my sleeve that I can try before I need to do something as drastic as move Quentin out of the tank. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll do a update on how things are going with Quentin in the 75 gallon and Tyler in the pond.